Communists had formed the backbone of the drives to organize in basic industry, to organize mines and mills and farmers and build the CIO.
Communists were the most devoted. They were in the forefront in the ranks of organizing the unorganized.
They just didn't know how to get a handle on the steel workers, even to begin talking to them. So they hired every communist in sight that they could lay their hands on. One of them was Gus Hall.
So the party made the decision that time had come and that the workers were ready for organization.
The reason that they were successful was because they not only were trying to organize a union, they were trying to organize the party.
The big problem was to get some money to organize a steel union. So we had to convince John L. Lewis, we had to convince him that it was possible.
Much of the executive board joined the party. Gus came in when they had the SWOC, and most of the organizers joined because party guys were the most effective fighters.
There was finally a strike called in Little Steel in 1937.
Our party played an important role there. On Memorial Day, there was a picket line in which the police attacked the picket without any provocation. The people that were already dead, they were still beating them up. The party played a very important role in exposing it. I don't think that strike would have been won without the communists.
And we never got the credit for what the party did in initiating these trade union movements. And so now the retirees of steelworkers just gave an award to Gus Hall, but actually it was for the party.
Little Steel comprised the first major victory of the CIO. The struggle for racial unity was key to the victory.
The role of the labor movement up to that point had been one of rejection of black workers.
The Communist Party works against division, against racism, and the separation of people by race.
Before the Civil Rights Movement, the party had an idea that you can't unite, for instance, the workers in trade unions without a struggle against racism.
That's very dangerous in the eyes of the corporations, and they utilize it to divide.
It was in the white workers' interest to get black workers to also want to join the union, because that would give them added strength to make demands against the bosses.
That gave us success, and we literally united the trade union movement, the steelworkers in the South.
During this period, the party reached mass proportion. Tens of thousands of mostly working-class people, black, white, and brown, joined the Communist Party and the Young Communist League.
When I joined after the Amsterdam News strike, I joined with 2 or 3 others of the strikers, but I didn't consult my husband about it. He didn't know about it. One of his friends told him, "Did you know what your wife was doing?" He said, "Well, she's joined the party." Soon after that, he did join the party. He didn't tell me. I found out about it too. I cannot imagine that socialism will do anything but overcome. I feel confident that we will overcome. I am a member of the Communist Party, and I will stay there forever.
Far before the U.S. entry into World War II, communists realized the greatest threat to the world came from fascism and initiated a worldwide united front against fascism.
Fascism is a movement to support the needs and the wants of big business. In the final analysis, communists played a decisive role in feeding fascism militarily and every other way.
The launching of the Cold War and the nuclear age was designed to establish U.S. imperialist domination of the whole world. This meant the suppression of dissent at home, which included the silencing of the Communist Party. The Smith Act and other laws were designed to illegalize the party and jail its leaders.
It is a way of life, an evil and malignant way of life. It reveals a condition akin to disease.
We became a danger to the rich, to the monopolies, to the big corporations. At least they thought we were.
In effect, there are 25,000 potential foreign agents.
That's one of the big anti-communist lies that, We're agents of a foreign power or something like this out of the McCarthy era.
And since 1948, altogether, 105 of the principal leaders of the Communist Party in this country have been indicted, and of these, 67 have been convicted for conspiring to advocate the overthrow of our government by force and violence.
Totally false. And finally, I think we have convinced most Americans that it was totally a false charge.
We need a new law to eliminate communist control of any industrial organization or any labor union.
As I speak to you now, 50,000 indignant New Yorkers are inside and outside Madison Square Garden in a giant demonstration demanding the veto and defeat of the Taft-Hartley slave labor bill. Ladies and gentlemen, William Z. Foster.
The Wall Street monopolists with their Taft-Hartley bill are trying to split and devitalize and hamstring the trade unions. The Taft-Hartley bill, moreover, would drastically limit the workers' right to strike. It would authorize the president to break national strikes. It would permit employers once again to use strike-breaking injunctions. Wall Street, with its fascist-like Taft-Hartley bill, also wants to kill the Communist Party. But they will fail in this as in their other anti-labor objectives. The workers, the American people, need a strong Communist Party, and it will be built despite Wall Street profiteers and exploiters.
You have heard William Z. Foster, chairman of the Communist Party, which purchased the foregoing 15 minutes.
Good morning. This is the Communist Party, USA. Well, the working class of the USA has been handed another blow. A right jab, you might call it. The Federal Reserve Board has kicked up interest rates again. The concern of the ruling elite in general is to hold the unemployment figure at around 6%. So we continue to hear of the big recovery. But the jobless and the underemployed are certainly not reaping any benefits.
Corporate America's offensive of the 80s began with Reagan smashing Patco and ended 12 years later with the defeat of Bush. If strike-breaking characterized the Reagan years, by the end of Bush's administration, militant labor fight-backs characterized struggle in the 90s.
And wherever workers are on picket lines, marching, demonstrating, we give all-out coverage.
You got the Caterpillar workers resisting the worst union-busting campaign we've seen in this country in years. You have the state police busting up their picket lines. And the party's in the middle of this war zone in Illinois. We're on all the picket lines. We're out there with the People's Weekly World, the only paper that really tells the story of what's happening in these strikes. People are joining the party in Chicago like never before, because the same problems that plagued the working class in 1919 when the party was founded plagues the working class today.
We started distributing the paper at Circuit-Wise a number of years ago when we learned that there was an organizing drive taking place.
I'm one of the hard workers that fought the struggle at Circuit-Wise to get a union in after 6 years.
We felt that this plant and the workers in it were extremely important.
Every time we try to fight, it seemed like Circuit-Wise would do something to knock us down. At first I was afraid to go with the union, and in reading the paper I see there were a lot of people that weren't afraid, and I felt that I had to stand strong and not be afraid also.
Once the workers feel that empowerment and feel that they can make a decision and that decision can be carried out because of their creativity, is something that you can't take away from them.
We survived. We did get our first contract, and it was very exciting. It was the support that I got from the party. Always out here on the picket line with us and on our struggles with us, talking to us, encouraging us to do the right thing.
We fought differently. We don't mind saying, you know, that workers should get more. They should get all of it.
Once they get that attitude, you know, the idea of having a revolutionary change in the workplace and beginning in the workplace is just incredible.
To me, socialism is a group of people getting together, doing the right thing for the working class.
People learn through the struggle. They will learn.